Hey guys, it's Critic back with another reaction. Today I'll be reacting to Season 1, Episode 6 of Game of Thrones. Once again, I have already seen this series. If you're not all the way through, do not watch this because you will be spoiled. And if you want to watch my full episode reaction, click the link down below and go to my Patreon. And with that being said, let's get into Season 1, Episode 6, A Golden Crown. Poor Ned. He's screwed.
By what right dare you lay hands on my blood?
Oh, like you really care, Cersei. You hate Tyrion, but she's going to use that as leverage, of course.
Both of you shut your mouths. Catelyn will release Tyrion, and you'll make your peace with Jaime.
I took you for a king.
Hold your tongue.
He's attacked one of my brothers and abducted the other. I should wear the armor, and you the gown.
Yikes. Whew.
I don't know what happened between you and those yellow-haired shits. I don't want to know. This is what matters. I can't rule the kingdoms if the Starks and the Lannisters are at each other's throats. So enough. You were the brother I chose.
You need to make the Lannisters pay for Jory and the others.
You're talking
Yeah, easier said than done, Dion.
Where's Bran?
I don't know. It's not my house.
Don't know. It's not my house.
Drop the blade.
Yeah, you have to. It's your brother.
Do it.
But we don't know. You would never sleep again.
When you're dancing in the meadow with your dogs and kittens, this is not when fighting happens.
I don't like dolls and...
You're not here. You're with your trouble. If you're with your trouble when fighting happens...
Wise words, yeah.
More trouble for you.
They're like making sex eyes at each other while she's eating a fucking horse heart.
She's going to have a boy.
He doesn't like that.
He won't be a real Targaryen.
Oh yeah, you're right, you're right.
He won't be a true dragon.
You're safe. What a sleaze bag.
You can go. You can't have the eggs. You swore an oath to me. Does loyalty mean nothing to you? It means everything to me. And yet here you stand. And yet here I stand.
Awesome.
Of course. You have also heard the phrase, a Lannister always pays his debts.
No, I don't think I've heard that
You
before.
deliver a message from me.
That's a new one.
I stole her robe. She was forced to return to the castle, naked and in tears. If I close my eyes, I can still see her tits bouncing.
Confessing my crimes.
Lord Tyrion, you are accused of hiring a man to slay my son Bran in his bed, and of conspiring to murder my sister's husband, Lord Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I don't know anything about all of that.
And he's telling the truth.
You've had...
I wouldn't be too glad, sir. I name my brother, Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, that would scare the shit out of me.
Slayer is hundreds of miles from here.
Send a raven for him. I'm happy to wait.
The trial will be today.
He's like, thank God.
I have a volunteer.
I think we can assume that no one is willing to...
I'll stand for the dwarf.
Oh yeah.
Those were the days.
Which days exactly? The ones where half of Westeros fought the other half and millions died? Or before that? When the Mad King slaughtered women and babies because the voices in his head told him they deserved it? Or way before that? When dragons burned whole cities to the ground?
Easy, boy. You might be my brother, but you're speaking to the king.
I suppose it was all rather heroic. If you were drunk enough and had some poor Riverlands whore to shove your prick inside and make the 8.
Woo.
Fish. Sigil of House Tully.
Isn't that your wife's house? Tully, my Lord Hand.
Yep.
Taller by a foot than any man I've ever met. Saw him cut the blacksmith.
Wonder who that is.
Saw him take the head off a horse with a single swing of his sword.
That sounds like someone we know. I've heard him called Tywin Lannister's mad dog. I'm sure you have as well. Can you
He
think
did
of
it
any
because
reason the Lannisters might possibly have for being angry with your wife?
If the Lannisters were to order attacks on villages under the king's protection, it would be...
That would be almost as brazen as attacking the hand of the king in the streets of the capital.
And sentence him to death.
My lord,
ballsy.
this is a drastic action. It would be better to wait for King Robert's return.
Grand Maester Pycelle,
My lord.
send a raven to Casterly Rock. Inform Tywin Lannister that he has been summoned to court to answer for the crimes of his bannermen. He will arrive within the fortnight or be branded an enemy of the crown and a traitor
Woo.
to the realm.
Goosebumps.
Yes!
He's like, whoa.
Enough, Savardis. Finish him.
Oh, that would hurt like a bitch. So, okay. So I was told here he was looking to see if he could just stop, right? But she didn't say anything, so he had no choice to kill him. I thought I read that somewhere, because I never understood why he was waiting. But someone said that was why? Can someone confirm that for me?
I'll never be cruel to you again.
Oh,
Do you understand me?
I believe that one. That's what every abusive man or woman says.
From this day
I'll never do it again, I promise. Here's a gift.
till my last.
I can't go. I'm supposed to marry Prince Joffrey. I love him, and I'm meant to be his queen and have his babies.
7 hells.
When you're old enough, I'll make you a match with someone who's worthy of you. Someone who's brave and gentle and strong.
I don't want someone brave and gentle and strong. I want him. He'll be the greatest king that ever was, a golden lion, and I'll give him sons with beautiful blonde hair.
The lion's not a sigil, idiot. He's a stag like his father.
He is not. He's nothing like that old drunk king.
Foreshadowing.
Go on, girls, get your scepter and stop packing.
He was just like,
Wait!
Come on!
But it's not.
Lord Oris Baratheon, black of hair. Axel Baratheon, black of hair. Lionel Baratheon, black of hair. Stefan Baratheon, black of hair.
oh shit.
Robert Baratheon, black of hair. Joffrey Baratheon, golden head.
Where's my sister?
Stop.
Where is she?
Where is she? Drunk ass.
I want what I came for. I want the crown he promised me. He bought you, but he never paid for you. Tell him I want what was bargained for, or I'm taking you back. He can keep the baby. I'll cut it out and leave it for him.
He says yes. You shall have a golden crown
that men will tremble to wear.
that men shall tremble to behold.
Close enough. Holy shit. I forgot how good this scene is.
Kurumai.
Woo! Ouch.
No! You cannot touch me! I am the dragon! I am the dragon! Daddy, please!
A crown for king.
He gets down and kneels and looks at him in the face. It's so awesome. just little details like that, it just makes you go, he is bad ass.
He was no dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon.
Hey guys, so I forgot the whole note part. So I already combed my hair back, so I'm wearing a hat. And my wisdom teeth are coming in, so if I sound weird, that's why. I'm just a mess. So just accept it. So the first thing that stood out to me in this episode was when Ned was in his bed talking to Robert and Cersei, and Cersei wanted them punished because how dare they touch the blood of hers, or the blood of my blood. First of all, we all know she doesn't give two shits about Tyrion, and it just shows another example of her manipulation and how she plays her cards to further herself and to put other people lower. She wants to completely stomp out Ned Stark's presence with Robert and in the kingdom, and she is making this big deal about Tyrion being captured when in all actuality she does not give two shits. So that was interesting. Ned is now stuck, and you can obviously call season 1 like just the downward spiral of Ned Stark, but I believe it really started probably when he got stabbed in the leg, but once again I believe that it was also started by unintentionally by Catelyn. I addressed this in the last episode, I believe, that Catelyn took Tyrion for purely selfish reasons, and yes, she thought that he tried to kill her son, but she took him without thinking through the repercussions about how her whole family is in King's Landing with Lannisters that are in high power. So I believe Catelyn unintentionally just led Ned into his beheading. Also, Ned made some choices throughout the way that made him a target, and he's too honorable to attack anyone else and to go after anyone else. So he was just a sitting duck, ready, just waiting to be killed. Speaking of Ned, another thing that was really crazy in this episode is when he denounces Sir Gregor Clegane the Mountain and calls Tywin Lannister to court in front of everyone, and obviously it wasn't a very smart thing to do. It was maybe an honorable thing to do, you could argue that, but that was also another thing that put a big target on his back. Obviously we can't trust Littlefinger. He thinks he can trust Littlefinger a little bit because throughout that scene Littlefinger was making remarks backing up Ned. So once he said this, he did not realize that Littlefinger is like, perfect, I can use this against him even more. I'm already planning conspiring against him. So yeah, Ned is just, we got 3 more episodes with that guy. So Theon and Rob's conversation about starting a war, it honestly irritated me how Theon was talking about it because it's way easier said than done. Theon was like, well, you have to avenge your father, you have to do this, you have to do that, but Rob understood that that is not a smart thing to do in the current situation. Starks against the Lannisters, even Robert said it, is not good for the 7 Kingdoms. You have to be smart about it. You can't just call your bannermen and attack. Your family's in King's Landing, all this stuff. So Rob was really trying to get through Theon's head that he can't just attack. Of course, he eventually does, and so does Theon, but I just found that conversation, or that interaction, very interesting, and it also had some more tension. It was building more tension, there we go, whew, with Theon and his inferiority complex about how he always feels like he's the small man and he doesn't have any, like, he's not in charge of anything because he's a ward, as he likes to put it, even though many people call him a slave. So there was remarks about how it wasn't his house and all this stuff, and that just, I believe, drove Theon's character more and more towards his father and he ultimately decides to take Winterfell. Syrio had a very good line in this one. Obviously, there's only one God, death, was very interesting, and everyone has their own beliefs in this world, and he was just telling her the only thing you have to worry about is death, girl, and you have to be prepared. And the line he said was, Goodyear with trouble. You aren't dancing with dogs and kittens when fighting happens, which was such a smart line, and Arya is young right now, and she needed to hear that because she's troubled. But as he said, the more troubled you are, the sooner you die. You need to be able to concentrate that anger into your fighting, and you still need to have your head, be with your head and fight with your head. And be smart, otherwise you will die. So I love that scene between them. I think it's one of the last scenes we get with them until he protects her and ultimately dies by fucking Miriam Trant, right? That's his last name. But of course we all know what happens to him, so it's fine. What the hell does this say? Oh, Tyrion. Okay, so when Tyrion was confessing his crimes, of course, it's a hilarious scene, but we also see another way of how the court works, or how trials work in this universe. You can either, obviously, there's bias in these courts. I mean, she said, you can confess your crimes to my son, and he will decide whether you live or die. Well, we all know that son's a psychopath, and he wants to throw him out the freaking moon door. So we knew that was unjust. And then we finally established the big thing that comes up multiple times in the show, which is, why can't I think of it? You guys, I'm so out of it. I have a headache. My teeth are hurting. Wow. Trial by combat. There we go. We finally get the trial by combat introduced to us. I believe this is the first time we see it. And, of course, we finally meet Bronn. Like, we saw him in the last episode when Catelyn caught Tyrion, but this is where we finally get to see him fight and him protect Tyrion, which we ultimately find out that he is a sellsword and he will work for whoever pays the most. And he saw his opportunity with Tyrion since he is a Lannister. Yes, Viserys. He's gonzo. He has the golden crown he wanted. I believe that Dany, she obviously never liked her brother, but it's your family. You give them multiple chances, and the moment he put that sword to her belly, you could see in her eyes that she was ready to get rid of her brother, that he has, like, insulted her one too many times. He has been a loose cannon one too many times, and we need to get rid of him. She is the Khaleesi. She has her cowl, and they can do it without him. So he is eliminated, and we got the iconic line, he is no dragon, fire cannot kill a dragon, and we've seen throughout the series that she is not affected by heat, so we all obviously know that she is the true dragon. So yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this episode. Oh, how can I forget, Ned finally 100% confirms that Joffrey is not a Baratheon. He is a Lannister, an incest baby. And that was so well done. The first time I watched that, I was like, oh! And I also noticed this time, I thought it was just a comedic exchange with Sansa and Arya, how, she's like, I don't want anyone gentle and brave, and they laugh. And then she's like, she was talking about how he's a lion, and Arya's like, he's no lion, he's a stag. And then she's like, and then Sansa said, he's nothing like his father. And then Ned kind of went, that's why I have this book. I better go check that out. And it was all put together. Oh, I love Game of Thrones. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my reaction and my afterthoughts. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey of rewatching Game of Thrones. I know it's not as entertaining as watching someone that hasn't seen it before, but thank you so much for supporting me. And with that being said, I will see you next time.